The forest appears, and we begin to enter into the depths of the forest. Lived a cunning fox named Freddy. Freddy was known for his tricks and jokes. In the same forest lived Lenny the Stork, a kind-hearted and friendly bird who always helped others. One day, Freddy the Fox had an idea for a little prank. He decided to invite Lenny for dinner. With a sly smile, Freddy said,
My dear friend Lenny, I've prepared a delicious dinner just for you. I would love for you to come over tonight.
Lenny, feeling honored, flapped his wings happily and replied.
Oh, thank you, Freddie. That sounds wonderful. I'll be there at sunset.
That evening, Lenny arrived at Freddy's den, excited for the feast. A delicious aroma filled the air, but as soon as he saw the food, his excitement turned into confusion. Freddy had served a warm, tasty soup in a completely flat plate. Lenny tried to eat, but no matter how much he tried, his long beak couldn't scoop up the soup. Meanwhile, Freddy happily licked up the soup with his tongue, chuckling to himself. Lenny struggled a few more times, but soon realized it was useless. He sighed and said,
It looks like I won't be able to eat this, but thank you for your invitation, Freddie.
Freddy laughed and said,
Oh dear Lenny, maybe you just aren't used to eating from plates like this, ha ha!
but Lenny wasn't upset. Instead, he smiled and said,
No worries, Freddie. In fact, I'd love to invite you to dinner at my home tomorrow night.
The fox was happy and he said,
Really? That's great. We'll see you tomorrow.
The next evening, Freddy arrived at Lenny's home, eager for the meal. A rich, delicious smell filled the air. Lenny welcomed his guest and placed the food on the table. But to Freddy's surprise, the food was served in a tall, narrow glass jar. Freddy tried to stick his nose inside, but the jar was too deep and narrow. No matter how much he tried, he simply couldn't reach the food. Meanwhile, Lenny happily dipped his long beak inside and enjoyed his meal. Freddy tried once, twice, 3 times, but it was no use. Embarrassed, he sighed and said,
I guess I can't eat from this jar.
Lenny chuckled and replied.
Just like I couldn't eat from your plate yesterday.
Freddy felt remorse, lowered his head and said,
I'm sorry, Lenny. I just wanted to have some fun, but now I see that jokes shouldn't make others feel bad.
Lenny smiled and said,
That's okay, Freddie. The important thing is that you have learned your lesson.
From that day on, Freddy became kinder and more thoughtful to his friends, and he never played tricks that could hurt someone again.